Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and hey, they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason, you know? So, like I said in my last edition of Odds and Ends, I said that I'd be doing it over the weekend, and it is the weekend, but very late, but doesn't matter, I have my source, and I'm sure you guys are anxious to hear what's going on, so without further ado, let's begin. Our first story comes out of Russia. Mother Russia, the communists. I'm no Kalashnikov. Bakinte, not maskinte. Sorry, I'm getting all in my Russian stuff, but I'm probably sure it's not that great. But anyways, in Russia, a Siberian man is refusing to pay a traffic fine because he said the world is going to end in December anyway. The Ruvov city website in eastern Siberia reported the unnamed man had been fined 1,000 rubles, or about $32 in American currency, after a minor traffic accident in the summer. Instead of paying the small amount, however, the motorist filed a 10-page brief filled with charts and graphs pointing out that the Mayan calendar predicts doomsday on December 21st, 2012. Quote, however, the debitor believes that if people are kinder to each other and forgive each other's debts, the world will not end. Local debt collection agency said. No word on whether the court has agreed to waive the fine in order to save the world. Let me just make this clear to everybody, okay? I'm half Mayan. I don't look like it, but my heritage on my mom's side is actually like pure Mayan. And I'm going to say this once and for all. The world is not going to end on December 21st, 2012. They just stopped counting the calendar. Just because they stopped doesn't mean the world's going to end. And how the hell did this even come about anyway? To just say, oh, just because this thriving civilization of over 600 years just vanished out of nowhere in the middle of the night, we're going to point the finger at them and say they're the ones who are going to say the world's going to end in 2012? Yeah, right. Stop it. All of you. Or I will find you. You understand me? Enough with the BS. Because I'm sick of hearing it. Moving on. Our next story comes out of Canada, where a judge in Ontario fined a woman $1,500 for driving with a blood alcohol level exceeding the legal limit, and then remarked on the, quote, utter stupidity of the officer who arrested her. Const Officer Sprawling. I don't know what const is, so if you're Canadian, you can tell me what that means. An 8-year veteran of the Scenaria Police Department pulled over 21-year-old Dorndia Vigors after she crashed her pickup truck into several curbs and struck another vehicle on the night of March 6, 2011. Sprawling then conducted a breath alcohol test that indicated Vigors was nearly 2.5 times the legal limit. Some weeks later, Sprawling and Vigors happened to be in the same Scenaria bar. The officer sent the woman a text message that read, quote, if you buy me a beer, I'll forget everything at trial. Vigors sent a return message saying, quote, I wish it worked that way. She also saved Sprawling's text to give to her lawyer. The messages were offered up as exhibits by the defense at Vigors' trial last month. Justice R.G. Hunter criticized Sprawling's conduct at the bar, but added there was no reason to believe the officer's earlier alcohol test was flawed. Vigors was fined and banned from driving for 1 year. Samaria police say they will investigate the matter of Const Sprawling's behavior and deal with it internally. Okay, so you arrest a woman whose blood alcohol level was 2.5 times the legal limit, and then after she sobers up, you see her in a bar and you send her a text message. How the hell did you get her number in the first place, number one? Number two, you send her a text message saying, if you buy me a beer, I'll forget everything. Is that a bribe, dude? Are you trying to, like, misuse your power like most police do and, like, I don't know, have sex with women just to make sure that I don't know, they forget it and they don't mention anything about it and they let you go. Really, dude? You know it's not going to happen. You know, because if one, she saved the text messages, and two, it could go back and forth either way because you're an officer who arrested her and you have evidence, you know, because you filed a police report. But she has also evidence against you saying that you sent this text message to her. And it's just going to be one giant hassle back and forth. So, way to go, dude. Moving on. Our next story comes out of Florida, where a former Marine dressed in a tutu is accused of attacking a disabled vet in a wheelchair on Halloween. Christopher Danby was arrested around 2:30 a.m. Halloween night in front of the Pita Pit restaurant in Gainesville. Police say he hit 35-year-old Daniel Piritoy twice, knocking him out of his wheelchair. Witnesses say Danby, a Marine veteran, was offended by Piritoy's quote-unquote disabled vet costume. Unfortunately, Piritoy, an actual wheelchair-bound former Marine, wasn't in costume. According to the Gainesville Sun, Danby has been charged with abuse of the disabled. Okay, dude. You were a former Marine. So was this guy. You don't go punching around people in wheelchairs just because they're actually a disabled veteran. You think it was a costume. There's probably some indication to my expectation, and I wouldn't be surprised, but to my expectation, there's going to be some alcohol involved. And when alcohol and misconfusion get in the way, this is what happens. You punch a disabled veteran in a wheelchair, for Christ's sakes. Why? Just because he thought his costume was a disabled veteran? You could have asked, dude. Actions speak, because that's just the same as him punching the dude. But I was going to say actions speak louder than words, but could have just asked. You could have just walked up to the guy and said, are you a disabled veteran or is your costume a disabled veteran? Because if it's a costume, then I'm going to be offended by it, and I don't like it because I'm a Marine and I thought that, you know, this is just BS. Could have done that, but no, you had to go and freaking sucker punch the dude. Jesus, man, people are stupid. Could have just asked. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And lastly, our final story comes out of Kentucky, where a woman who shot her on-again, off-again boyfriend 6 times told police she was only, quote, giving him the nose job he wanted. Detectives in Highland Heights say Cheyenne Hubbers, 21, shot Ryan Poston, 29, to death after an argument about his condominium on Friday, October 12th. Hubbers called police 15 minutes after the incident and confessed to shooting him twice in the face and then 4 more times in the body to, quote-unquote, stop the twitching. According to Highland Heights Detective Bill Birkenhager, quote, she said she gave him the nose job that he wanted. Birkenhager testified on Thursday, October 25th at a preliminary hearing in Campbell County District Court. Excuse me. I just lost my point. Okay. He told the court Hubbers put Poston out of his misery because, quote, she couldn't stand to see him deformed after shooting him in the face, parentheses. She said he was in vain. After the hearing, Judge Karen Thomas decided to revoke Hubbers' $5 million bond and forward the case to a grand jury. Police say Hubbers' story has changed, quote, several times over the course of the investigation, but now claims she was protecting herself. Quote, I'm not going to talk about the facts of the case, except to say that it is a self-defense case. The only thing she did wrong was having a bad taste in men, defense attorney Will Zalevy said of his client. Quote, she is a very young and kind person. She would never do anything violent. Never has, never would. Okay, so let's break this down. You have a gun. You shoot your boyfriend in the face, in the nose, to give him a nose job. You shot him 6 times, 2 in the nose. You gave him the nose job that he always wanted, and then you shot him 4 more times just because you wanted him to put out of his misery and, quote unquote, stop the twitching. And then you go on to say that, oh, you changed the case several times, and then your defense attorney says you're not so violent. BS. That is a load of crap. You know they're lying through their teeth. You know they say a bunch of BS like that just to make them innocent. But we all know that this person is going to go to jail for shooting her boyfriend in the face. And of course they're going to say it's self-defense. But obviously, based on this information, it doesn't look like self-defense. It just looked like his boyfriend went up to her and said, hey, here's a gun, give me a nose job. Because apparently you can't afford a nose job in Kentucky. So apparently having a girlfriend shooting you in the face is obviously the best way to get a nose job. Way to go, Kentucky. Now you're going to make yourselves look stupid. Honestly. God, man. I swear. Anyways, guys. I'm sorry, but anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And after this, the next Odds and Ends will be on schedule, so every Thursday from now on, starting this week, no matter how busy my schedule gets, every Thursday there's going to be new Odds and Ends, and so now you guys know it'll be back like it was the old days with new Odds and Ends coming out every Thursday, and possibly a vlog here and there though, but because of my busy schedule, I don't know how often it's going to be, especially, you know, coming up with Thanksgiving weekend right around the corner, so try to make the best of it though. But anyways, guys, that is it, and we will see you next time. Until then, see you guys later.